Alright, hello everybody. Sorry for the long break there. I'm finally out here in Senegal. I'm in the middle of the bush right now, as you can see. But I finally have enough service to be able to make and upload a video while we're out here. So I figured I'd just send you guys some updates about how outreach has been so far. So just a few days ago, we concluded our time in Dakar, which is the capital city of Senegal. And while we were there, it was a completely different vibe than what you would see out here in the bush. Just the hustle and bustle of the city, man, it's a crazy busy city. I'll definitely send a ton of videos at the end showing videos of it. But we did a lot of children's ministry, just with like some of the street kids there and the beggar boys, bringing them like soccer balls, doing skits and all kinds of things like that. Just little programs to help serve the kids. We also did a ton of just like street evangelism, and with our outreach, it was kind of difficult because our contacts didn't really know how to receive a YWAM team so well. So at the beginning, we didn't have a translator or anybody helping us. So we were literally just like pulling up Google Translate, translating into French and Wolof and walking down the street and just like praying that we would find people who would be able to like use the translator with us or spoke English in general. And it actually ended up being like a super fruitful time. And we did later get a translator. But we actually managed to talk to a few people just like via Google Translate. And just like one of the testimonies from that was we had half of our team was out going, and they saw a man who like had a crutch, and they were like, man, we just really want to pray for this guy, but you know, he doesn't understand. And so they were actually able to use their phones to pull up Google Translate and talk to this guy and allow him, or have him allow them to pray for him and pray for his foot. And he actually ended up getting like fully healed, but we didn't know it right away. He went home, and he was there with a friend who we met as well. And we were walking down the street another day doing more street evangelism, and the friend comes running up and he's like, hey, my friend got healed. Like, how did that happen? And it actually opened a door for us where we were able to go back and sit with him again and kind of just explain, you know, Jesus is the one who heals. You know, we called on his power. It was his authority, and you know, he's the only one who can do it. And he was a Muslim guy, and he ended up giving his life to Jesus. And yeah, his name was Ghana, and so we got his contact. We gave him one of our little audio Bibles, and our translator who lives in Dakar is going to keep in touch with him. And then another story too, we were doing kids ministry the one day. We had gone back to a location we were at before, and we were there just kind of unannounced, and we met one of the kids, like Muslim teachers, and he actually invited us to come back and to do like kind of a bigger, more involved program with the kids, where we brought like a skit and some proper games and everything like that. And that Muslim teacher had, I don't know if it was a friend or a student or who he was, but he was a young guy. I think he was 15 years old. But he started talking with Sinead and our one translator, and they were like, "What are you guys doing here? Like, you know, like we don't have people come and do this type of thing." And so they were really able to explain like, "Oh, like we're here as missionaries and everything like that." And he was like, "Wow, this is so beautiful. I've never seen anybody just like share their faith like this. Like, surely like this is like what you're talking about is real here." And so they prayed with him and talked with him for a long time, and he also ended up giving his life to Jesus and coming over from being Muslim to being Christian. So it was a super good time in Dakar. We had a ton of fun. It was definitely pretty intense trying to figure out how to do this outreach without a translator or anything like that at first. But luckily the Lord was just with us and opened every door and gave us every single thing that we needed, like translators and contacts and ministry opportunities. And yeah, and it was super good. And Senegal is so interesting because they have full religious freedom, but they're a fully Muslim nation. There's a few Catholics every once in a while, but then like really on fire followers of Jesus are kind of far and few between. So they're religiously free to do whatever they want, but they're also like incredibly culturally like close to the gospel, especially actually where we are here in Gaia Meke. we were kind of briefed by our contacts, and they said, as far as it goes, you guys are in a closed nation. People will persecute you. People will like hate that you're there, and so it's kind of intense. But since we got to this place here in this village, we're about 7 miles away from the main Ngai Mehe village, and we're out here. We don't even quite know where we're at. We're literally just out here in the middle of the bush. There's kind of nothing for miles, a few houses every once in a while. But they kind of briefed us, and they said, yeah, the people here are super close to the gospel. A few years ago, they had a really bad experience where missionaries came and kind of preached a turn or burn type of message. And a Muslim spy actually came and sat in on the message and videoed the whole thing, clipped it together so it looked worse than what it was, went and showed it to all the village, and it resulted in some pretty heavy persecution, like towards our one contact here, who he's like the only Christian, and he was like, his life was threatened. They threatened to stone him. Like they just like hated him, and that was 2 years ago. So a lot's changed, and then he's made a lot of progress. But I mean, even since being here, we have to keep that gate locked at all times, because people literally hate that we're here. I was sitting just right over here in the yard the other day next to these tents, and somebody was throwing rocks at my head just because they know that we're here and they know that we're Christians, and they really don't like it. And since our team has been here, just for the few days that we were here, our contact has been saying that he's really seen people just begin to open up like he hasn't seen in years. And he's been a missionary here for like 10 years, he said. So our team really is actually seeing an impact in here. And even though it doesn't necessarily look like, you know, kind of the big ministry moments and epic salvations and moves of power and everything like that, we're still so happy to be caught up in what God is doing here and planting seeds and really just opening people's hearts to the gospel. It's honestly a big gift, and it's super cool. You really see how fruitful those things are here. So that's just kind of a brief summary of what outreach has been so far and kind of where I'm at now. But I'll totally send all the videos and pictures at the end of this video, so you guys can just kind of see what life looks like here in Senegal. For prayer requests and things like that, we're currently dealing with some pretty hardcore visa issues. We originally had 2 students who were struggling to get their visas here. Online, and all of our research told us they would be guaranteed 90 days stay, which would cover all of outreach, but they were only given 30. And so one of the students was just really overwhelmed by the whole situation and decided to just leave. But the other one is still here fighting for her visa, and she's actually in Dakar right now as we speak, trying to get this visa. So just prayers for her that her visa would come through and she could remain here. If she gets kicked out, she'll have to go to another team, and she really doesn't want to do that. So you could be praying for that, as well as just that people's hearts here in Senegal would just be so open to the gospel, and that they would be receptive to what we had here, we would bring here. And also just praying that the persecution would stop, because people will come up here and they'll yell at you and throw stuff at you, and most of the people are really warm and welcoming, but some people really don't like that we're here. So yeah, just praying for those things would be super good. But just thank you all for supporting me and praying for me while I'm out here. Thank you again to everybody who's been donating, helping me financially out here to even get to where I am now. It's just a huge blessing, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here in Senegal right now, and it's so amazing being caught up into what God is writing here in Senegal. We're just out here on some camels, you know how it is, just walking. We don't know where we're going, but we're going somewhere. Yep, it's pretty fun.
على النبي بالقضاء يا أحمد والآل